Jermaine O'Neal definitely punched a dude that was wrong.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, that's it. That's
he got him real good too. The guy had it coming.
Oh yeah,
for what it's worth.
That guy came out like
Jermaine O'Neal.
That guy came out.
He's huge.
Literally like this with his hands up. I'm like, dude, you deserve to get clocked. I'm sorry, you deserve to get clocked. Jermaine O'Neal probably deserved to get fined too, but you definitely deserve to get clocked.
Yeah, big time.
Everybody, welcome to Pursuing Pixels. My name's Kevin Portelli, and I'm here tonight with John Hines.
Hey there.
And Randall Nolery.
Hey, folks.
And we are back, as always, to talk about some video games. Feels like it's been a little while since we've had all three of us sitting down here for a session, so I'm excited to dig into some stuff. I don't know about you guys. I've been kind of digging into a handful of different things, but actually sinking some, significant time into a couple of different games, which I haven't done in quite a while, it feels like. How about you guys?
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Eventually I'm going to talk about the fact that I'm playing Twilight Princess with my daughter on the Wii U version.
Ooh,
we're going to get there eventually in talking about that, but not yet.
Nice.
I'll be very curious to hear about that, especially the Wii U version.
Yeah,
so very excited about that.
Me too.
Compare it to me playing the GameCube version with my wife.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Spanning across 3 generations.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
I'm jelly
that's
about
awesome.
that GameCube version, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I guess I'll get us kind of started off here with one of the games that I've been sinking some more significant time into. And this is a game that John has talked about on the podcast in the past. I think I was going to say more than once, definitely once for sure, but I think possibly multiple times. But the game is called Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit In Wonder Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a mouthful there. We've gushed about quite a few games from the developer here, Team Ladybug, in the past. We've talked about Drainus.
Yeah.
We've talked about Toho, Luna Nights. And John, did you talk about Blade Chimera at all? Or
if I did, it was only very briefly.
Like just some first impressions or maybe some saving for the cast stuff? Or
didn't get too deep into it, but did like what I played.
Yeah. And this Record of Lodoss War, I'm actually surprised right before we started recording, John had mentioned that this was probably his favorite Team Ladybug game. And I was kind of racking my brain because I was like, I didn't go back and listen to the episodes, but I was like, I don't want to repeat everything that John said, but I really don't remember what John said. But in my recollection, my memory was that, John liked it, but just the set, it was like, another Team Ladybug game. Feels like they kind of came into their own as their subsequent games have come out. So I was kind of surprised to hear you say that this was at the top of your list, but I gotta say, I would probably put it up at the top of my list as well. Now, that being said, I haven't played Blade Chimera. I've only played a little bit of Toho Luna Nights. And I have played at least through the first like core playthrough of Drainus. And then there's kind of that second, playthrough of the campaign, if you will, to get through the full story mode.
Yep.
And I never have completed that second playthrough. But yeah, I was kind of having a little bit of a Metroidvania itch after you guys have been talking like some of the Castlevania stuff on Game Boy Advance and just some of the other games that you guys have talked about recently, and ended up tracking down a physical copy of this one at the game shop recently and popped it in. And I gotta say, I don't know what it is about this game because it starts off relatively simple, as do most Metroidvania games. You're relatively limited with your available moves and weapons and this and that, and you're going to upgrade and get new things as the game goes on. But just something about this game, even when it's so simple at the beginning, just the sense of momentum. I don't know if it's just a combination of like the presentation with the pixel art, which I just absolutely love, which is no surprise being from Team Ladybug, but also no surprise, the music is just absolutely amazing. Like it is just this pounding, like adrenaline. I don't know. It just gets the juices flowing big time, but it's super melodic at the same time. Like it feels like something straight out of like the Sega Saturn or Dreamcast or PlayStation era.
Hell yeah.
And it's just awesome. I can't say enough good things about the presentation as a whole. And I'll say the game like save file itself doesn't keep like a tally of how long you're playing on that file. But like when I look at my Switch profile, it says I've played for 3 hours or more. So I've played somewhere between 3 and 4 hours of this game. and I'm on what they're calling, it's all one big Metroidvania map, but you kind of like when you first start the game, I got super excited because it's like stage 1, and I was like, oh, is this not really a true Metroidvania? Is it just going to be like, some stages that are laid out with a little bit of exploration? But it is all stitched together, but you will, after you beat certain bosses or clear certain story beats, it'll kind of, introduce you to the next stage. And again, back to that presentation, like it'll like rolls this dice, and even like the sound when the die like hits the ground and rattles, and then it lands on the 1, and then it's like stage 1 tells you the name of the stage. And then those dice like come into play with like the gameplay as well. Like each enemy, when you first attack them, it'll like show a little symbol with like a dice and a number on the bottom right, which somehow corresponds to like their weakness and whatnot. For the most part, you're just kind of toggling between 2 different modes, like a wind mode and a fire mode. I think like in an Ikaruga fashion, you kind of have like these 2 different polarities, but even that system, like it works very similarly to how it does in Ikaruga. You charge up and this and that. But the cool thing is like, so when you're attacking in fire mode, any enemy that you hit is going to drop like the blue wind power-up gems, and then you can increase either one of those modes up to level 3. And if you're fully maxed out at level 3, when you're in that mode, you'll heal. So like any damage that you've taken, you'll automatically heal. But then if you take damage, obviously, then you're not at full power. You stop healing, then you got to toggle to the other element. And just like in Ikaruga, and I'll say in the early game, you're not doing this a ton. I'm just getting to a point where they're starting to throw, in the same room, multiple enemies at me that they're totally, if you're attacking in wind mode, they completely block you, and, you have to, but they're going to shoot out a fire attack. So you don't want to be like, you really have to juggle between the 2 different modes pretty quickly, where in the early goings, you're just kind of like, okay, in this section, I just want to be in fire mode, or in this section, I want to be in wind mode. And even that, like, you eventually get a double jump. When you're in wind mode, you can like hold down the double jump and just kind of float and hover in place. And even like if you press up, you can like hover even up a little bit higher to get up to a higher ledge. I actually just unlocked, it's not a triple jump, but essentially when I do my double jump, I can hold down up on the joystick when I do that second jump and do like this extra high like launch, which is also an attack, so I can like attack enemies from above. You get tons of different weapons. Like at first I was the one gripe I had was I got a really good weapon early on that had this huge like arcing swath that just took up like, took up like half the screen, it felt like, and it did pretty heavy damage. But now that I'm a little further into the game, like I've gotten a boomerang that I really like, which up until this point, it's all been like different types of swords. So I was like, oh, nice. So like a ranged weapon. And I was thinking it was going to be limited. I mean, you can chuck 1,000,000 of these boomerangs, like, willy nilly. Like you can really just whip them around. You got all these different spells you can unlock. And again, just the presentation, like the spells, even like your healing items, they all like get tied to like this, the A button. And then you can just hold that down. It'll kind of freeze the game, and then you can cycle between the different options you have. Then leave that item you want in the slot, and then just press A again to use your healing potion or use your magic spell that you have equipped or whatever. And it's just every little nook and cranny rewards you with like a new weapon or a new upgrade or a new health pickup, or I don't know, the map is just so thoughtfully designed. Like there's a little bit of backtracking for some goodies here and there that I'm, finding, but there's some, fast travel points. The only other frustrating thing I'll say, which I guess you could say about a lot of different Castlevania games, is like the knockback can be a little bit frustrating in some of the platforming sections. Like you really just get like drilled sometimes. Like now that I unlock this not triple jump, but this like boosted double jump, I think that will alleviate some of that, because I think there'll be sections where like, oh, I got knocked down, but I can get up to that higher ledge without having to do the traditional platforming that would normally lead me up to this section. So I think that'll make things a little bit easier, and it acts as an attack, so you can kind of like hit some enemies and clear them out of your way while you're jumping up like that.
Nice.
But yeah, those are like my only, the couple gripes that I mentioned are really the only 2 minor things. Like the boss battles are amazing. I've squared off against 2 like huge dragons so far that just look so cool. Their attack patterns are like fun to learn, slightly frustrating, but like I feel like you learn them and are able to take the boss down before they start getting too frustrating. Like the difficulty just feels pitched just about right. I'm on a boss battle right now that I'm actually struggling on just a little bit. But like I said, I'm like 3.5 hours maybe into the game, and it feels like I'm like coming up to like a climax. Like it feels like there's not that much more left of this game. I could be wrong, but for all I know, there might be a second story, like Drainus or whatever. But I'm just loving the pacing. The little cutscenes are, it's all just like text dialogue, but it's kind of cool. Like the characters will have like little speech bubbles that pop up, and it looks like the text is moving, but it's actually like the speech bubble that just kind of jitters around in the background, like around the speech bubble to kind of indicate that character is talking, while it makes like a little bit of like text, just digital sound and stuff. But just like, this is just one of those games where even when I first started the game and, I wasn't happy where they mapped like jump and attack and a few of the things. So number one, I was happy I could remap the controls. But even just going into the menus and just moving to the different options on the menu is satisfying. Like the sound design, the just clicking on things, and it's just like the feedback of everything in this game, including the menus, is just like top notch. I can't gush enough about this game.
I was like the menus in Drainus.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I think the weakest part of Lodoss War is the menus. Like they're kind of obtuse and like a little difficult to navigate. But like I think that's something that is in every Team Ladybug game. I don't think that's their strong suit is UI. And I think like you brought the comparison of like the Ikaruga, and like they have such like a hard coded DNA of like bullet hell games and shmups into all of their titles, whether they're like Drainus, an actual shmup, or like Toho Luna Nights, which like is a similar thing, but like it does it in a completely different way. Like you are constantly doing the like switching polarity in Lodoss War to, like you were saying, like get your level up for the two different polarities, and then trying to like, they don't give you a lot of health, if my memory is correct, in Lodoss War. So you have to do like a lot of managing between those two, like fire and wind.
Yeah, it's all about like, especially on the boss battles, like once you kind of learn the pattern well enough, it's like, okay, I can at least dodge these attacks long enough to where I can get enough shots in with the fire weapon so that I can charge up my wind up to level 3 so that I can start healing and just keep trying to dodge until I can heal enough. And then you will eventually meet a character that you can, will be on certain spots on the map that's just like a shop, and you can buy healing potions from them. But you can only have up to 10 of them max at a time. So, it seems like a lot, but you can burn through those babies fast if you're not, because once you start taking some damage, it's hard to get your level back up to level 3. But just eat all the little touches in this game, like in a lot of the save rooms, if it's like right before a boss battle, the save point or whatever will refill your health and like your mana, but it won't refill those like wind and fire meters. But if it's before a boss, they'll just be like this like hanging like carcass, and you can just like wail on it with your weapon with whatever polarity until and it'll just like release like droplets of whatever color, and then you fill up those meters, hit the save point again, so you're fully maxed out. But even just little touches like that of like world building of like, they easily could just make it, hey, run over the save point and fill everything up. But it's like, no, you got to wail on this carcass here. And like, it's just, I don't know. It's awesome. And having no frame of reference whatsoever for like the anime or manga or whatever it is that it's inspired by or based on. It's not necessary at all. I'm pretty sucked into like there'll be like all these like glitchy interruptions, like a lot of the story beats. So like you'll run into a room and there'll be a character in there, and it'll start like glitching out the visuals a little bit. So your character is kind of like, is this real? What's going on? Is this, and like, just, it'll be like a quick snippet of something that happens. And it just like, it leaves you compelled enough to be like, man, what's going on here? I'm pretty sucked in. I'm really, really loving this game, and, can't recommend it enough. Can't recommend the games from Team Ladybug enough.
Yeah.
And it just really got me itching in particular to check out Blade Chimera. And actually, now that you mentioned the menus, John, that I think is what I was remembering. You talking about how my recollection was you saying that all the games have gotten better from Team Ladybug since then. I think what you said was that the menus have gotten more refined over time. I'm almost positive that was your, and for whatever reason, that was like the thing that stuck with me the most. But
and they haven't gotten that overall, much better, to be fair.
But they are like, they're so satisfying to like experience that it doesn't bother me too much. And it is fun to like, swap between your different weapons. And it does clearly show like, okay, this is like for your, at least for your melee weapon and your bow and arrow, which I didn't even mention that you have that as well. But it has like, a speed and a strength or an attack stat. So you can clearly see, hey, this weapon is 2 lower in speed, but 5 higher in attack. So, and you can clearly see the trade-off right there. So I do like that. And again, like I said, I love that you can remap the controls because I panicked at first. Oh no, A's jump and B's attack. No. B and Y, baby. B and Y. But anyways, glad I could remap that. And just loving this game. Glad that you gave it the praise that it deserved. Because I think I probably would have just been like, oh, it's an earlier Team Ladybug game. I don't need to experience it, but you gave it enough praise to be like, okay, if I see a copy of this, I'm going to snag it. And
I'm glad you
found one.
Jeez.
So. They're all so good.
I will say, like, the Wikipedia article for this game says the game was inspired by Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Ikaruga. So, there you go. Like,
there you go. That's pretty spot on.
It'd be fucking fantastic, too, for inspirations, for that matter. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm behind the ball to play this at some point, too. I do own the physical Switch version as well. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm trying to get all of their games because they're a phenomenal developer.
Me too. Yeah, I was just saying, like, I'm kind of waiting on Blade Chimera because they haven't announced a physical copy yet. And I'm hoping they do because Toho Luna Nights just physically came out not too long ago.
Yeah, with that special edition.
That game's been out for quite some time. Yeah. I've been tempted a couple times, but I'm like, I don't need to spend $90 on one video game.
Grab that at some point too. In the past, so
you got the special? You got the special edition? Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man.
So I say I don't need to buy any more video games.
Exactly.
Kind of okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, I think I've done more than enough gushing there on that one. Although I do intend to see this one through. Like I said, I got stuck on a boss right before we jumped on here. But I'm hoping to just keep plowing ahead with that one and polishing it off. So, but without further ado, I think I can kick it over to you here, John, for what you've been sinking your teeth into lately.
I have been playing the first of my resolution games for this year.
Nice.
Because
I forgot you had a double whammy.
I picked 2 for whatever reason. But I have been playing Death Stranding, the game from Kojima Studios after he was unceremoniously dropped by Konami. So it was his first foray into a new IP since that happened, following Metal Gear Solid, and I am in love with this game. It is one of my favorite things that I've played in a long while. It is
heck yeah,
so immediately like a bunch of different games all at once that I like really would glom onto. There was a point when like right at the beginning section when you're just like getting the intro of how like player movement happens and like moving around in the environment, and it like almost immediately like clicked in my head that this game was kind of like, oh, what if the human body was a mech sort of thing or a vehicle? Like it doesn't control in the same way that any other game that, is a third person, like human character moving around. Like if you are on a slope and you're moving forward, you will continue moving down the slope long after you've like stopped pushing forward. There's momentum and weight to everything, and you have to you lose your balance very easily at the beginning of the game. And I was thinking a lot as like Kevin was bringing up playing like Lonely Mountains Downhill again, as like, oh yeah, there's a ton of like, oh, there's a rock that's just poorly placed in front of me, and that is a like the biggest like obstacle I could possibly face at this point in time, and you're like constantly thinking about the environment around you and like how you control like your character through that with different weights that you're carrying, and that shifts your momentum or changes it. So like right off the bat, it was in a space that I was really into. And then on top of that, you know, it's pulling at a lot of like exploration or like the core mechanic is a lot of like delivering packages from like one place to another. So you have to plan routes or find what is a good route through this treacherous terrain or various things. And then the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And the game has all of these literalizations of gameplay mechanics because it's Kojima and everything has to be explicit or like on the nose to like an absurd degree. So once you have like literally connected the in-game world to the in-game internet, then you gain access to other players who have like also moved around this world and have laid down like, here's a ladder that helps you get over this thing, or a rope that helps you get past this like large boulder. And so then you can lay down those things and like send it to other players. And then you get, there's a lot of different gameplay mechanics that feel like they're like, that one feels a little bit Dark Souls and a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, like there are just all of these echoes from all of the games that I've been playing over the past 10 years. And like, same with Kojima, obviously. And like, very much like the man loves to put all of his influences explicitly in there. So you can collect like little data things that are literally just, Hideo Kojima went to Iceland and really liked this band, so that's why this band is in this game. Like completely like tearing down any illusion that of like this isn't just Hideo Kojima's mixtape of like, here's everything that I liked. I put Norman Reedus in this game because I liked him in Walking Dead. I put like Mads Mikkelsen in this game because I really like Mads Mikkelsen. Like It's kind of
like I'm doing it because I can.
You can,
yeah. And I'm so glad that they let him, because it's a really fun game. I've been dragging this out. Like, we haven't recorded for a while, and I've just been doing the like opening areas like to an like exhaustive degree. And like right before we hopped on, I like advanced the plot a little bit by doing a main mission as opposed to side missions. And even that like is just continuously adding more functionality to this game. So I've barely scratched the surface, even though I've been playing this game almost nonstop for a couple weeks now.
Hell yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Like, and just to get lost in a, you know, open world in general, right?
I was just gonna say, is it like one big map, or when you said areas, I'm like, is it different levels?
So it's like multiple open world sections so far, and I'm not sure how many of them there are. Like, it might just be 2 at this point. Who knows at this point? I've also kept myself relatively free of spoilers of this game somehow.
Nice.
And like,
I'm in the same boat. I really don't know much about it. I've obviously seen like some screenshots or video of like where Norman's got like a stack of boxes to the fucking ceiling, but that's like all I've ever seen. That's as much as I've seen. Yeah.
But you are in the United Cities of America after the post-apocalypse, and you are working for
That's an idea.
The Bridges. I don't know what Bridges is in relationship to the government, if it is the government or if it's a contractor. Fragile is a private delivery service that's separate from Bridges, but yeah, everything is so on the nose name. But like, yeah, the first area is the East Coast. You start at Washington, D.C., and I think you make it as far as maybe Missouri, and then you cross over, and then the next area, I think I've gotten as far as like Denver. at this point. So
Okay.
there might be
Interesting.
another division after the Rockies. There might not. It might be the rest of the United States at this point. But yeah, every time I would get to a point where, oh man, I haven't even talked about like how like there's like BTs and mules, which are entirely different game modes. Like there's the delivery mode that's I've been playing, and then the mule sections are kind of more Metal Gear Solid-y, and like you have these enemies, but they hunt you down because they're people who are addicted to delivering packages, so they want to take your packages so that they can deliver them.
That's hilarious.
But you also can't kill them because killing them sets off basically a nuclear bomb. Like, so you need to non-lethally take them out. But then there are BTs, which are ghosts that you need to take out with grenades made out of your blood. This game rules.
Sure.
Jeez.
Yeah, blood grenades.
I truly didn't even know there was combat in this game, so that's crazy.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Like there's so many different modes, and like for the longest time I was like, I don't like dealing with the stealth sections because I'm not good at stealth, so I just didn't.
Yeah.
And now that I've kind of exhausted the non-combat areas, I was like, all right, I can get outside my comfort zone, and I love going into mule camps because those are pretty fun, like lower stakes ones. Whereas the BT sections, I'm still terrified and hate, and I'm really bad at them because I'm not good at throwing grenades. So in due time, I'm going to be playing this game for a while, so I think I'm going to be talking about this for a while.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's on my short list of games, like now that they've released like there's part 2 that it seemed like people like part 2 even more than 1.
Yeah.
Just based on like the general, consensus and reception and whatnot. But the first one, now that they have the PS5 version, it's definitely on my short list of games I want to nab. It's just a little tough because like the PS4 version got to the point where I see copies for like, $15 to $20 at the store, and I was like ready to grab it. But now the PS5 version, like those are still like $40 or $50, and I'm like, I'm just going to wait, I guess, a little longer. But I am compelled. There's something about this game, especially because I've left myself in the dark, and you're like, oh, there's combat, there's this and that. It just sounds intriguing.
I will say the one last thing I'll mention today is that I got this game for free on the Epic Game Store.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did too.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's been
I think I missed it when it was
ordeal.
free at that time. Yeah.
Like the Epic's game launcher is not good. So I have been launching it through Steam so that it could recognize a controller. And even then, it sometimes like doubles inputs or
What?
It's bad, but whatever.
Now, what's messing up? What's not working with the Epic Game Launcher? Because I've never tried much on there, but the few games that I have ever tried to boot up, I mean, they boot up no problem. I've never had any issue.
Does not recognize my controller at all. Like there is nothing that will have it and then every time that I open Death Stranding, it will show every single Epic Game achievement that I've earned in Death Stranding in chronological order, like since I've gotten it. And I've gotten a lot of achievements in that game now, so every time I boot that game up, it shows every single achievement I've gotten in order on boot.
That's weird.
That's weird, yeah.
Mess.
Yeah, that's a little funky. Although you were having some of those controller issues in general before too, so I wonder if it's just something with like
but those were with
the way
hardware.
Your controller's talking to your computer.
No, those were with like the PS4 controllers, like just breaking down, and the Switch Pro controllers breaking down. Like this is like the wired controller just not getting recognized.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep.
That stinks.
That's bizarre.
Other than that, great game.
Yeah, glad you could at least get it up and running. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess if you're good there, John, why don't we kick it over to Randall here for, I guess, sort of a first impression, but also an update, I guess, on a long-running little series here.
Do the impressions ever really change on these? It's I am going to give you all what you've been waiting for, which is the NBA 2K update for this year.
Clamoring for it.
Clamoring for it. Yes, I think, I've given you updates since at least like 2K19, so I couldn't hold back on 2K26.
That's wild.
Yeah. So playing this on Xbox, which I was just looking at the Xbox listing for Death Stranding, and it's actually on Game Pass, so it is queued to install because I've always had a eye for that. And what you've explained, like in the systems and stuff, just sounds so good to me. Like I kind of been itching to play like a Metal Gear Solid-esque game too anyway, and this kind of fits a bit of that bill along with the other mechanics. And like, oh man, that sounds awesome.
Hell yeah.
And
heck yeah.
The less controller problem potential through just a console, I would assume. So that's that would be good too.
Yeah, I didn't know you were still rocking Game Pass too. So
that's another thing that's gonna get it's gonna die this year because I'd stacked 3 years of heavily discounted codes. So that's
right. I remember
out.
You saying that when I canceled mine. I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yep. So it's that is also end of the road. I think November that runs out for me. So I kind of need to squeeze some out of that juice there and see what I can get
it in. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of take advantage of those. So this could be one of those.
Nice.
Yeah, but I would first to do that, I would need to like close NBA 2K26 and not play that every single time I go to sit down on the couch, which is typically what I do now because life is stressful and tiring and you have to go back to what you know. You need comfort, and regardless of all the other video games you own and have bought historically, you always just go back to what works, I guess, Old Faithful. So,
yep.
This year, I'm still doing the same thing I always do, which is play the My Career mode where you play as MP and it's a single player focused thing. And you start out, in college or in this case, in high school, and, you get drafted. Yeah. And you played a little high school gym and stuff too. It's pretty silly.
Because they have to pay NCAA players now.
Well, that's probably it too, isn't it? Yeah, there's probably angles there.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God. Yeah. Now you got to play the McDonald's high school all-star game instead.
Oh.
Well, technically the angle here is you played internationally or whatever, and then you came over. So that was the
Luca.
That's kind of cool.
Wemby.
Yeah. Pretty much. So my build this time, because you can always choose like your create a character for your build, I went with a kind of a inside outside scorer, power forward, paint defender type, like 6'9" or 10, and can block shit and shoot 3-pointers and can pass pretty well because that's kind of what I like to do. But what I will say too, besides the fact that this game plays as it has, especially the last couple of years, I think they've kind of nailed kind of the core gameplay mechanics of it. It does play extremely well. It's not to say it doesn't have bugs every year. It's not hard to find on social media clips of people's games bugging out. Like you see, I saw what is like, the fuck's going on with Wemby? And Wemby's like literally hanging on the rim and like spinning around as they're like going back on defense and stuff. And then they come back on offense and like he blocks the ball from going in because he's still spinning around the rim. It's like, oh, that's pretty good. My bugs weren't quite that eccentric, but there would be things like our team would be up a lot, but then the other team goes on this big run and they call timeout. We're still up by 1. The other team is like high-fiving or whatever. Our team has to call timeout to stop the momentum, but then my player's still celebrating, even though we just like got like this like 10-0 run just happened to us because we're still winning. So like there's some context stuff that doesn't happen quite there. Same thing like when there's late game like purposeful fouls sometimes. The player will like foul on purpose to stop the game, but then immediately go, what? Like what? I was like, well, no, you did the foul on purpose to stop the game. You can't be upset that the ref called a foul. That's literally what you wanted.
It's like
to
it just
happen.
has the one reaction programmed into just complain about the foul. Complain about the foul.
Yeah, which is often, otherwise would be realistic, but in that case, no, kind of breaks the immersion a little bit.
Yeah.
So there are still those bugs where I'm like, fuck this game. But then, the game plays so well otherwise. And like, it just fits like a glove. And it's one of those games, like I've said before, where like, if I got good sleep that last night and had my electrolytes and, and behaved myself, and I, turned that thing on with a full brain, I can just fucking rule the world. Like it's, Elden Ring or Dark Souls or something on a good day. Right. And it's just like, oh yeah. And then on the days where I'm like, fuck, I just need something to do. I just need to get my mind off of how busy work is and whatever. And I play it and I just get obliterated there too, cause I'm already tired. It's one of those. It always is. Because it's so mechanics heavy that way, and you have to just be like in it the whole time. There's no fucking around or second screening, especially because I bumped the difficulty up to superstar this time. So that's something I've done kind of over these last couple of years. I'm like, all right, I've played like almost a decade's worth of these fucking games. I should bump it up from the default pro. So last year I went to All-Star, I think it is. And then this year, I'm like, let's do it again. Let's go up one more to Superstar or whatever the hell it is. And so that's been good, too, to just be like, all right, you will get punished if you don't understand how to play like team defense. You'll just get obliterated over and over again. Like, and you have to know, the strengths and weaknesses of both your opponent, but also your teammates that are out on the court. And, to close those gaps and, cover up deficiencies on defense, especially that might arise from other players. And it's very quick to give you a defensive breakdown thing and reduce your overall, alphabet grading rank if you mess up on any given play. So there's constantly that feedback loop happening about how you're playing the game too. If you like fill the lane correctly by like, hey, there's an opening down the paint to like get the ball and like go dunk it or whatever. Like there's all kinds of little feedback things that are happening as you're playing too, to play it the quote unquote right way.
Are there punishments for like winning, but like winning poorly? Like does either like team morale go down or like your...
Yes. Yeah. You get into that too, where like you could have a good game, but like, good game, but you didn't pass to any of your teammates or anything else, and your team chemistry take hits. Nice. You also often, if you have a big performance, you might get an after game interview. They'll ask you a question, and then you can choose to be an egotistical dickhead or be a team player, and those change different stats and parameters that are happening in the background too, right? Like you could be the dickhead, and that'll go on social media. Maybe you'll get more fans, but you'll lose team chemistry as a result, and that'll affect future games that are upcoming. So there's a lot of that going on too.
Yeah.
It's
like a BioWare RPG and running in
a
the
little
background.
bit. Yes. And then what I also really liked this year is they've got a lot of like scenario stuff going on. That's pretty cool. Like at one point, the whole team got really sick in the playoffs, and that affected everybody's stats out there and their stamina to like run around, but you still had to like play the game or whatever. Or like one time the team plane arrived late, so they didn't get a chance to do their shoot around, and everyone starts out in this dazed attribute that normally only happens if you've missed like a bunch of shots in a row and go into like a shooting slump and get blocked or whatever. So like,
hell yeah, status effects.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And then you have to like dig yourself out of those holes or figure out a way to like react based on what's been thrown at you, which is, I think, really engaging way to like, keep you on your toes that way. Like another example is like Julius Randall was talking shit to me in social media saying how he was going to punk me or whatever. And like, you can choose to respond back or not. And if you respond back and say like, no, motherfucker, like I could outscore you by 10 in this next game, or I could keep you to 10 points or whatever. And like, if you do that, you'll get more of like the progression currency or whatever if you achieve that, but
it's like a side quest, little side quest in the game.
It's a little spice. So I did say like, no, I could outscore you by 10, and I didn't end up I outscored him, but I didn't outscore him by 10, and he won. But he also won because he started out with like this huge stat buff, like his main like super passive ability that he gets for like getting in the zone and getting a bunch of things in a row. He had the whole game by default because he was amped to play against me because I was then talking shit too. So
nice.
Yeah. So that stuff was pretty cool. Even down to like one of the last things I'll say is like the draft process was kind of interesting too, in that I typically always play the Pistons. There is no Supersonics. I grew up with the Pistons, so I typically always get drafted by the Pistons, like good or bad. So I said like, hey, MP wants to be drafted by the Pistons, but then the game's like, all right, it's draft night. The Bulls really want to draft you. Like the Bulls are calling us. They're saying they're going to draft you.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. And then they're like, what do you want to do, MP? And they're like, all right, you know what? No, let's go along with this. Let's let the Bulls draft me. I'll change my plans. Like, I want to just go with the flow and experience like that aspect of it. So the first season I played with the Bulls, where he's Josh Giddey and me and old man Vucevic, who is a fucking turnstile on defense. Just like we didn't do too bad for ourselves considering I was a rookie and still having to like up my stats through each game and stuff. But we got in the playoffs and we got obliterated by the Knicks in the second round because we could not stop them whatsoever. Yeah. Yep.
Incredible.
Yep. So
that's awesome.
That's MP. So, despite some flaws, it's a pretty good version of the thing, all things considered. And I bought it on sale. I didn't buy the super duper version before it even came out. That was like way too much money and came with League Pass. I waited until it was like $30 and I bought that bitch then. And I feel very good about that, cost benefit analysis this year for it. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that seems like the perfect thing to do.
Yeah.
Like wait until it drops to like a reasonable $20-$30 and then get your fill and wait for the next one.
Exactly.
You don't have League Pass, so you don't have to force yourself to watch a million FanDuel ads.
No, I don't. And to be honest, like last year I had League Pass and I like barely turn it on. I just watch the 10-minute YouTube highlights most of the time anyway. So it's like, whatever. Like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I have time to waste my time playing the same video game for almost a decade is what I have time for.
Hey, we all do.
Yeah, we all do.
Well, I love that it number one keeps bringing you back, and that they're at least spicing it up enough each time so that it like makes you interested in checking out the next one. Because it could easily be a game where you're like, okay, I played 19, 20, and 21. They're all basically the same. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to wait 5 years till I get the next one.
And you totally could. And you would be probably better served by doing so, but I'm just too much of a sicko for that.
And it's fun to see, like, the little changes, like, over time.
It is.
Yeah. Like, it's cool. I feel like every time you're always mentioning, like, some new things, even if they're not anything major, it's just something like, oh, that's a cool, element that I didn't see coming. Like, I don't know. There's always a new twist or wrinkle in there that is cool to me.
But it's good to live vicariously because as you describe it, I'm like, good God, that's so many systems. That's so many things to keep track of.
That's a lot. There's definitely a lot.
Mm-hmm. Let alone that you can get trapped in the nefarious, virtual currency bullshit that exists there, which I do not. I only interface with it in like what I earn by playing the game or what I got by like buying it in the first place. That's what I spend. And like that's the gamification for me too, because I feel like it keeps the progression of it honest, and it feels more like it feels better to play it that way. To be honest, like I feel like MP being more capable over time in a way that's like I shouldn't win the championship as a rookie on the fucking Bulls. That's not realistic.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, 2K is getting more and more gross with all that.
They've always been.
In-game purchase type stuff.
Oh yeah, they've got no shame about that stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, zero.
Yep. So until next year, I've emptied the tank for this year.
Nice.
It's time to play other video games. I literally had it uninstalled and then I like reinstalled it because I'm like, no, it's time. It's right there. Pick up the Vice, Randall. You could just reinstall it. It's totally fine, man.
Heck yeah. I'm glad it's still running tradition.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
You'll hear about it next year probably.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Anything else before we wrap things up here for the evening, guys?
No, sir.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, yeah, as always, you can find us on the internet at pursuingpixels.com. If you haven't been able to find us there recently, it should be back up soon. But just look up Pursuing Pixels. You can find us on the internet pretty much everywhere. And yeah, until next week, we'll catch you then, and take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
But you know what's not the worst? Video games.
Video games.
Video games.
Video games.
Video games are kind of the worst right now, too. But in general, the concepts.
Yeah.
The medium.
Yeah, the medium.
Video games.
Video games.
Video games, the
ecosystem, not so
industry,
much.
The worst. Yeah, the industry, the worst. The product at the end, not so bad.
Not so bad.